Despite difficulties with parents, many young gamers still attempt to go pro. With so much competition, most never get close. Being good at a game isn't enough. Players need resolve and tenacity to have a shot at success.
Any up-and-comers that you see coming up through the ranks right now?
There are some young players. There's a player called LoSt-CaUzE who wasn't really known, I would say, a year or two ago.
I started gaming when I was about 13, and it pretty much started when I went to my friend's house and saw Fatality playing. You know, he pretty much did what I wanted to do, travel the world and play video games.
I believe his big idol is Fatality, and Fatality was actually one of the reasons why he devoted himself to gaming.
He told me maybe a few years back that he was going into professional gaming. I didn't really get on board then, but I said, hey, I think you need to stay in school, finish school, and then do that.
You know, my dad wants me to go back to college, but this is just what I like to do, so if I do well in gaming, I probably won't ever go back, to be honest.
I know he has a whole thing with his dad that's kind of on and off.
He had had enough because of circumstance at his house. He was just basically wandering, and he got to my house. He stayed at my house for maybe 2 months. And there were a lot of things that he had problem-wise, some family problems, some confidence problems in life. He was basically like Kane in Kung Fu and just wandering around without a home and trying to game, like epitome of hardcore, basically.
Like, he was basically homeless for a year or so and just staying in different people's houses. He's not eaten, and he's like scrounged. He had to sell or try to sell his laptop just to get a ticket to WSPG London just to play. Like, he doesn't have money, but he finds a way, and no other player has really done that before.
He went through almost poverty. He was training with friends, and he didn't have money. He was in trouble financially a couple of times. He actually made himself homeless in order to do what he wants to do.
I couldn't find anybody to practice with who would practice consistently, so I decided to just like fly out to Canada and do nothing but eat, sleep, and breathe the game. I went to Las Vegas, and I went to Kansas City, and I was just going all over the place practicing. I mean, that's basically when I sold like my laptop and some other things just to get the money to go and practice. Gaming was like, that was what I wanted to do with my life, still is. A lot of people that try to get into gaming, it's hard for them to get into it because they can't support themselves financially. Like, a lot of the leagues these days a lot of them are top heavy. So for 2 months you're doing nothing. All you're doing is eating, playing, and sleeping. And then to go to a tournament and realize that, hey, if I don't get top 3, my last 2 months of my life is worth nothing, really, right? So it's extremely stressful. I've always believed that anybody, if you put everything you have into something, if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. Some people may have to wait longer than others, but yeah, when I sold like my laptop, or I would walk like, a certain amount of miles to get to certain points or fly to certain places, I had a goal in mind, and I knew I would meet the goal eventually.